Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to the Geeks Rising YouTube channel. My name is Bandrew, and I run the Bandrew Says podcast. Today, I am going to be sharing my EDC, my everyday carry, or my EDU, everyday use, because I don't really carry anything with me because I've been locked down for nigh on a year, and I don't leave my home. So let's go ahead and walk through my EDC, EDU kit thing that I use. Yep, let's do that. Let's go ahead and start with the phone because that is the biggest part of most people's EDC or EDU. I am still using the iPhone X. It's many years old at this point, but it's still functioning perfectly fine. I see no need to upgrade. The main change since the last time I've done one of these is I switched off of a leather case to this silicone or plastic case, because that's a little bit easier to sanitize. It's not porous, not going to cause me any issues there. As far as the apps, I just have email, phone, messaging, shopping, music, podcast, and I have weather and the stock market. I don't do much on my phone. I don't like phones. I don't like using phones. I'm too paranoid for phones. But that is the phone that I am using. Then let's pretend that I am actually somebody who leaves my home. I would carry a wallet in my front pocket. This is a simple slim wallet, has a pocket over here for a couple of cards, pocket on the other side for another card, little pull tab to pop out your cards or your cash. And this isn't any super fancy made in the USA leather. I bought this maybe 4 years ago, and it's still working perfectly fine, so I'm not going to replace it until it starts falling apart. I wish I could remember what it was. I don't know. I'll link it if you're interested. Then whenever I leave my home, I always throw this in my front pocket. This is a Hitch and Timber EDC organizer. This is something that I've been carrying for maybe 3 years at this point, and I just use it to carry the Swiss Army knife, cadet pocket knife. Nothing too fancy, mainly just a fairly large blade for a Swiss Army knife. And the other item in here is the Fisher Space Pen bullet. Especially right now, you want to have your own pen so you don't have to use the pen at the bank or anything wherever you're going. If you have to sign something, you want to have your own pen. So this is something I've been carrying for years at this point, and I still carry because it is still extremely useful. Next, I am a little bit of a weirdo, but I am addicted to chapstick, so I always carry a stick of Burt's Bees with me, and whenever I make it through a full tube of chapstick, I am always very proud of myself, and I feel like a proper adult because I was responsible enough to keep track of a $2 tube of chapstick. I always carry Burt's Bees with me. I think I'm exposing too much about myself to you. Okay, next. If I were to be leaving my home, I would be carrying the AirPods Max. Really easy. They don't sound great, but they sound fine, and most importantly, they are incredibly convenient. It would allow me to listen to music or podcasts, and I do enjoy the noise canceling and the transparency mode. That has always been super enjoyable and useful. So this is the Nomad leather case, I think it is, for these, and this is what I would be carrying if I was leaving my home. I guess I should also mention that when I leave my home, I carry keys with me, a car key and a home key, and a YubiKey. But I have really pared this down. I don't have any keychains. I don't have any extra doodads on my keychain. I like having as little on this thing as possible. I don't want to put too much pressure on my car's ignition thing because apparently that can be an issue. I just like having a very minimal key set that doesn't bulk up my pocket too much. That's what I have, and YubiKey for two-factor authentication stuff. Next, I think we ought to talk about what I wear on my body, and as far as wristwatches, it is one of these two for the most part, the Christopher Ward C65 Trident or the Sinn 556A. I love both of these watches, and they are my go-to. I'm also not 100% sure if I enjoy this and if I'm going to keep wearing it, but this is an Oura Ring. It is somewhat of a fitness or health tracker, and it's a ring, but it is incredibly bulky, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's worth it. it's just kind of nice to know how incredibly unhealthy I actually am and how soon I'm going to die. But it's a bit morose, wasn't it? But these are the two watches that I will throw on my wrist every single morning. And then I don't know how much longer, but I'll throw the Oura Ring on there as well. Another staple in my EDC for years at this point is field notes. I always like carrying these, and I have found that the spine on them after maybe a year of carrying them starts to fray and the paper inside starts to fall out. So I started wrapping it with some boxing tape, and that tends to help. And then I use a little label maker. I know it's a sticker, but I use a label maker to let me know when it starts, and then I will print one when I am done using this, and it will be when it ends. And that's just something nice to have. Another item that has been absolutely essential for me is a Streamlight MicroStream. Just having a little light that I can go around and help find stuff with is incredible. It's amazing how frequently I drop stuff and lose stuff, and how frequently I find myself using these. I really like these because these use a standard battery size. These are, oh, that's a terrible sound. These are AAA, and I know there are USB versions, and I have had some folks telling me to get the USB versions, but I have purchased so many of the AAA ones. Once they die, I'll go ahead and get a USB one, but until they do actually die, then I will continue to use these AAA. So this is probably one of my most used non-watch, non-phone, non-iPad kind of things, because I use this every single day. Next, this is not exciting at all, and this is a filthy microfiber cloth, but I always carry a microfiber cloth to wipe down my glasses, wipe down my phone, wipe down my watch because I smudged the crap out of it. These are incredibly useful, and I always carry one with me because you never know when you're gonna need it. Next, we're getting to the more home or office-based items that I don't carry on my person all the time. First would be a Fisher AG07 space pen. This is the model of pen that was used in space, actually. They didn't use the bullet, but this is a full-sized pen, does not collapse, so it is not as good for an EDC, a pocket carry. It uses the same pen capsules or ink capsules as the bullet, but I just like the full-sized pen and the fact that it has a little bit more history. I really enjoy these things, and I have a couple of them, and I use them all the time. Next, I have a pocket knife that I use to open up all the boxes and all the packages that I get, all the microphones, all that stuff, and it is a Kershaw SpeedSafe. I know that plenty of EDC folks are probably looking at this blade and cringing. I know I ought to learn how to properly clean and take care of a blade. That's why I'm still using a relatively affordable Kershaw. But I use this at home to open packages and all of that because it's a little bit larger. I don't want to carry this in my pocket. I like just having the little EDC organizer in my pocket when I'm out and about. But this is good for home use. Next, this is a relatively new addition because I got this for Christmas and I have not even used it yet. But this is a 5-year journal, and what this is it has every single day of the year, but it has 5 areas for 5 years. You can tell I already messed up. I wrote down 2020, but it's going to be 2021. And this will just help me keep track of everything. I can essentially keep a journal for 5 years, and it doesn't give you enough room to ramble on and on about unnecessary, uninteresting things. It just has room for important stuff. So I am going to be using this for 5 years, and I'll report back next time I do one of these EDC or EDU things on how that's actually going. Okay, next up is my most used device probably. This is a 2018 iPad Pro. It's not the latest version. It is the first squared off version that they came out with, one of those rectangular shapes, the more angular designs. And again, I don't do too much on these. I don't have too many apps is what I should be saying. I use it a lot. I have podcasts, I have music, I have a couple of social media, Twitter and Discord. I have YouTube, shopping, and email, and that's about it. But I will have this thing up 24 hours a day in the Magic Keyboard, the floating keyboard case, because it allows you to charge it and use the USB-C port. And I will listen to podcasts, I will listen to YouTube videos and watch YouTube videos and movies and everything. I absolutely love this thing and use this more than probably any other device that I have, but mainly for consumption, not for creation. Then we have what I connect to the USB-C port on the iPad Pro. It is the RME ADI2 DAC FS. I know the audio files are cringing because I connected this thing to an iPad Pro, and you don't really have that much functionality or control over sample rates or anything, and lossless files, forget about it. But I like having this connected to it because I can connect my headphones to it and get slightly better audio quality than I would over Bluetooth. And because I'm trapped at home, I figured I might as well use a nicer audio setup and enjoy the listening experience that much more and have a little bit of fun with it, as opposed to be stuck listening on some AirPods Pro when I could listen through a much better system. So this is what I connect to the iPad Pro over the USB-C port. And I believe the last item in my EDC EDU thing is a set of Sennheiser HD650s. These are my go-to headphones. They are open back. They are, I think they'd be considered reference style. I don't know. I am not the biggest headphone person. There are many of other channels and people out there who know a lot more. I just know I love the sound of Sennheiser HD650s, and I wear them all day, forget that I'm wearing them, and I will walk away from my computer and pull my headphones right off my head. I love these things. I will continue to use them as frequently as I can because they are so enjoyable and so easy to listen to for long periods of time. For 8 hours a day, I can listen to them and have no issues. Okay, I think that is all that I got for you today. I would love to hear from you. What is your most essential EDC or everyday use item? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to check out my podcast, you can go to bandrewsays.com, or you can check out all the shows on the podcast network at geeksrising.com. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.